Gold is showing euphoria, Bitcoin is showing disbelief and pain. When one ends, the other begins. Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP army. Appreciate all the love. Let's take a look at what's happening with XRP, as we are going into Sunday morning. So over the last 1 hour, we're seeing so much interesting things happening because just an hour ago, before I'm recording this update for you guys, we were seeing Bitcoin price dropping below $107,000. We actually went down to $106,000, and just literally instantly we saw this green candle up to 108. We're going to talk about all of that right now with you guys. Remember, we're in a weekend. On the weekends, more manipulation than usual as CME futures are closed. But if you're looking across the board over the last 1 hour, to be specific, this is where majority of the momentum is coming in. XRP price, $2.36, down about 0.7% on the USD side of things and about 1% on the Bitcoin side of things. Valuation 140.1 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about 2.26 billion. As always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So take a look at this. Bitcoin is currently down 6% in October, but there are still 12 days left. Which way are we going? And again, something we kind of, spoke about yesterday in our update for XRP, people tend to focus more on the 6%, but, are forgetting that 12 days is more than enough for market to do so much in such a short span of time. So within these 12 days, you could actually see, a lot happen. So that's something I want you guys to keep in mind. I know there's a lot of people thinking that, the bull market is over, this and that, yada, yada, yada. But, people are not factoring in some key, important events that are taking place this month alone, which of course I think do have an impact on, traditional markets as well as the crypto space as well. But take a look at this. This is, in relation to what we just talked about. So, Arthur Hayes says, there is no more four-year cycle. We're in an extended cycle, new world order. I'm of the opinion that it ends when Trump administration ends, which again is 2027 to 2028 he's expecting. So pretty much what he's talking about is that we don't really see a bear market. We're going to see just this upward cycle again. Historically speaking, we've been talking about this day in, day out on the channel. We're actually getting closer, and it should be sometime soon that the bull market should be over. And yes, I still think we're in a bull market, believe it or not. But he's pretty much saying that due to Trump administration regulation coming in, institutional interest coming in, we're going to see under the Trump administration maybe a super cycle. So we talk about super cycle so much on the channel before. Obviously, right now it's still speculation, but are we really going to see a super cycle? When do we find out whether or not it's a super cycle? No one really knows until next year, because like I said, sometime this year or early February for my timeline, it's around there. If the market extends and we see bullish momentum in 2026, and we hear positive things come in and being talked about from the Trump administration, and Trump maybe bringing in some exciting news for crypto and crypto companies, maybe this is the start to the super cycle. But as of now, we don't really know. And I think we need a little bit more time, and I think next year is going to be that time that we kind of find out whether or not that's really going to be the case, or history is going to repeat itself. But again, if you are, accumulating since the last 2-3 years, I'm sure, you're up, and believe it or not, there's a lot of people that are still up on a lot of coins, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum is to name one, Solana, XRP is one of them as well. There's a lot actually. So, if that's the case and you don't want to risk it, because of course there's a risk associated, there's no guarantee that whether or not this is going to be a super cycle. So make sure your exit strategies are in play. But let me know in the comments your personal thoughts on that. But take a look at this. Bitcoin magic lines are still in firm uptrend. Do not believe these people saying it's over higher. And again, this is according to Gordon, his personal opinion. But he's pretty much, kind of showing us the 200 daily moving average, 365 and 200 weekly moving average, and he's pretty much talking about how the lines are, we're still above that key range. And Quinton. Shout out to Quinton. If you don't follow Quinton, make sure you guys are following Quinton. He mentioned that a lot of bullish indicators did not reach this cycle. None of them have flashed. So that's something we need to factor in. But it kind of goes back to what we also discussed last night about how memes have sucked a lot of the liquidity from retail. So that's something we want to factor in. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. But take a look at this 452 million liquidation flush in the past 24 hours. Following a week of heavy long liquidation, more short positions are being wiped out today, and that is pretty much after that retracement we did see yesterday. But again, we're going to come back to the charts a little bit later. But take a look at this. Global M2 is off the chart. Bitcoin will close this gap or prepare accordingly. So what do you guys think? Again, we do have a positive correlation usually for, the M2 supply and, BTC. But right now we're seeing major manipulation. Again, I'm sure a lot of people are aware of that, but government shutdown is something we want to factor in as well. And, the tariff conversation, but definitely we are being manipulated. But I do have a strong feeling that, Bitcoin is going to follow that M2 money supply. But take a look at this. Ripple business model relies on the idea that demand for XRP will increase its price. And of course, this is being discussed a lot recently since their acquisition and how they're, trying to build a big treasury for XRP. But yeah, this pretty much is, with more to do with XRP Ledger. If you understand how XRP Ledger works and you understand where, XRP token comes into play, as well as RippleNet. So again, interesting things to keep in mind. Let me know in the comments what your personal thoughts are, and take a look at what Zoom says. He's pretty much showing you guys the XRP US dollar on the weekly time frame, and you can see this consolidation. And we haven't really exited it, this box here. And he's pretty much showing what happened last time we were above here, and now we're in here. So are we about to see that next wave? Again, I totally agree. People tend to forget what XRP is doing. If you zoom out and take a look at the price of XRP, it is looking amazing from where it was late last year, and I'm sure no one can deny that. But let's take a look at what's happening with the dominance. So you could see dominance is, and we're actually seeing some manipulation occurring right now as well. And I'll share what I mean by that. We saw the dominance going up to 59.5%, but you could see, we tumbled back down. And that is because of what happened with Bitcoin just over the last 1 hour alone. Let me zoom out for you guys. So we dropped below this key range. And I told you guys in some of my updates that, this is such an important level to be above. If we don't, make our way back above this key range, 105 could be on the table. And you could see for yourself, we saw a gain of 2%, 2% wick instantly for BTC, taking Bitcoin up to $108,219 price point. And this happened literally just an hour ago. So is this manipulation occurring? Because I'm sure, some shorts that were piling up here got completely wiped out. I cannot, imagine what happened to the shorts that were piling up here, because look at this wick right here. This is the 2% wick for Bitcoin. That is quite large. And maybe are we going to see that wick filling in? We'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments your personal thoughts, but this is very interesting. And again, a continuous reminder why you want to stay away from leverage trading platforms. So if you're looking at XRP, of course, we made our way down to $2.20 yesterday. Since then, you can see for yourself, I'm sorry, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, we did see increase of about 8%. So right now we're still, holding steady just within the 38.2 right now, briefly below it, but we want to see the price, closing within the 38.2, as I said. But again, zoom out, guys, take a look at the bigger picture for XRP. How far it has come. Yes, we're seeing market manipulation right now, and that obviously is having an impact on XRP as well. But let's not forget that. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.